Now, RJ says if the standings are like they are today, the Mavs will be in the Western Conference Finals. Is that with Porzingis playing? What percentage of playoff games, RJ?
I would say he would play 6 out of 7 games in the playoffs. 5 out of 7. 5.5 out of 7. 5 out of 7. 5.5. 5.5 out of 7 games. Listen, when he is on the floor, the numbers prove that they have the most efficient offense in NBA history. That is a 100% fact. You can't shake your head at that, Kevin.
That's a 100% stupid make-believe fact that's not based on the actual flow of the game and doesn't focus on the last 5 minutes at all. That's just like when people
we're just gonna take 48 down to 5.
Yeah, hey, when the 5 minutes decide the game, that's like the same people who are like, Dak was going to throw for 6,000 yards last year. No, he wasn't. Like, you have to focus on the actual flow of the game. That is a fake statistic.
It's not a fake statistic.
It is a fake statistic.
It's per 100 possessions.
Make-believe nonsense.
You just hate Luka and the Mavericks. You want them to lose.
I want them to win, and that's why it's a fake stat. If I wanted them to lose, then I would hate that stat even more because they would have won the NBA championship because they had the real best offense of all time. It's a fake stat that doesn't factor in the last spot. You don't even know what the stat is. You don't even know what you're talking about. Stat. Huh? The stat is per 100, they're the most efficient offense in the history of the NBA. It completely discounts what happens in the last 5 minutes when they were the next to last worst team in the NBA, and it discounts their record in the last 5 minutes, and it only focuses on the computer game. It doesn't factor on what actually happened in the game. That is a fake
It's
statistic.
not a fake stat. It's a points per 100 possessions. It's a simple stat. It's probably the most telling predicted stat in the NBA.
When it goes to the last 5 minutes and they
your
fold
microphone. Turn your microphone on. This
Why
is
did
their
they
chance
win
of
the
winning.
championship
This is their
last
chance
year?
of winning.
Why did they win the championship last year then?
0%. Because he got hurt. They were dominating.
That's why they didn't win the championship?
No, they didn't win the championship because they were young. They didn't beat the Clippers because he got hurt. They were tied at 2 games apiece. He gets hurt. He was dominant in the playoffs last year.
He was hurt.
You just hate white people from Europe. That's all it is.
What?
That's all it is. You just don't like white people from Europe.
So,
you have an
anti-Euro.
You think they're all Euro trash. You think everybody from Europe is Euro trash. You eschew any kind of you eschew any kind of thick food from Eastern Europe. You probably don't like sausage.
Start
okay?
naming
You probably don't like flags
Eastern
that just
Europe.
have 2 colors on it. You hate all of Eastern Europe. You hate the Olympics, and you hate Luka and KP.
So what's interesting there is there are 8 teams that are more efficient than last year's Dallas Mavericks team. So as the league keeps kind of changing the rules and the way that offenses are going, that Dallas – yeah, there's 8 teams more efficient than the 2019-2020 Dallas Mavericks this year.
Yeah, and RJ, was that stat for this year or last year?
That stat was for this year. They were better. They're more efficient this year than they were last year. When
KP is, but I do think it is relevant that when it comes to the last 5 minutes, both stats are correct. I remember Jeff Van Gundy last year, right around the playoffs, it might have been in the playoffs, he said, this is considered the most efficient offense of all time, and he asked Mark Jackson, he said, hey, do you feel like this is a better offense than when we watched the 80s Lakers or the 80s Celtics? Do you think this is a better offense than just recently watching the Golden State Warriors with Durant and Curry? Do you think this is a more efficient offense than watching when Nash was running the Phoenix Suns? And they're like, my eyeballs say, no, I would much rather have those offenses. Now, Choppy, I'm going to say this to you, but I want Corey to get involved here too. I want to pass the ball around here. I do believe KP has to be on the court for the playoffs and be a major threat because last year, after Game 3, he quit playing because his knee hurt. Curry had a great game, I believe, in Game 4. And so what happened in Game 5 and Game 6 was pretty much the Clippers said, take away Curry. There's literally nobody else on this court who we're threatened by. Leave Dorian Finney-Smith wide open. Leave Maxi Kleber wide open. Leave anybody on the court wide open. We're going to try to make the game tough on Luka. No human being can stop him in the NBA, but let's try to make it tough. And let's eliminate Curry and make the other 3 guys have to hit shots. And in Game 5 and 6, nobody could really make those shots because they just can't. Well, Tim Hardaway Jr. can. I can't remember what he did last year in the playoffs, but I don't think it was great. But if Tim Hardaway Jr. is super hot, you can just eliminate him if there's not another threat besides Luka. So I'm hoping that KP is on the court, Corey, because then if Hardaway gets hot, it's tough to double team or to really take away Hardaway if you have two other very efficient scorers or major threats.